All our proven fall catfish hacks and insider secrets to dominate fall fishing for channels, flatheads, and blues. Okay, let's start off with the bait hacks and secrets that will trigger more fall bites. First is a killer hack using canned pumpkin that you've soaked in vanilla extract. It really works. It's a fall scent profile that mimics decaying forage. Just stuff it in thin pantyhose if using nylon's legal by you. Next is cut shad or skipjack. Great, oily, irresistible fish for blue catfish especially, that you've injected with garlic oil, sardine oil, or cheese sauce using a bait syringe or a meat injector. It'll create a long-lasting, strong scent trail that travels farther and longer in cooler water. And to make it even more nuclear, you can freeze these cut bait chunks in bacon grease that you've soaked thoroughly overnight. It not only amplifies the scent, but it'll stay more firm on the hook. And of course, there's live bluegill hooked up front for big flatheads if live bait is legal by you. And if you trim off part of the back fin, she'll swim erratically and trigger more strikes if she appears wounded. And now's a great time to like and share this video and hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss our next great video. Thank you. Now let's talk about fall catfish behavior and patterns. If we think just like the catfish, we'll know where to find them so we can catch more of them and faster. As the water temperature begins to fall below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, catfish will go into pre-winter feeding mode. They begin bulking up and moving from shallow flats, riprap banks, and current break lines. And this is absolutely the best time of the year to catch the real trophy-sized cats, but only if you know where to look. The first insider tip is to look for baitfish scatter around the lake's thermocline after the lake begins to turn over. Use your sonar to find suspended shad schools that stack up in blobs because the catfish will be right on their tails. And you can also use a water temperature gauge to target shifts in the temperatures because a few degrees can make all the difference at this time of the year between catch rate success or lack thereof. When water temps begin to drop sharply, catfish are going to move deeper and into heavy underwater structure, which retains heat better. So if you're fishing in the shallows, you're basically wasting your time. And a real killer tip, if you don't have a boat, is to use a castable sonar to scan for these types of bait balls. And when you see tight clusters of shad or bluegill, the cats are going to be stacking just below them for an easy ambush. And another great strategy you need to know this time of year in fall is that catfish will be feeding in aggressive bursts during barometric pressure drops and moonrise windows. So just use a weather app with lunar tracking to time your fishing trips during rising moon phases. And if you're catfishing in rivers, the cats will stack in eddies behind dams and spillways, near bridge pilings and log jams, from the breaks in current and the ambush cover that they give them. Just use heavy slip sinker rigs to hold tight to the bottom and cast your baits upstream. And lastly, no matter what you're using to catch fall catfish anywhere, you can add a rattle float or beads or blades that flutter, especially in darker stained water, because cats are going to use their lateral lines to detect that vibration, and sometimes that's all it takes to trigger the dinner bell. Okay, folks, you still there? We certainly hope so, and that you've gotten some really good tips and tactics that you can use right now to catch these whiskered beasts. Location is truly everything in fall, because fall catfish will most always follow the structure, current changes, and easy forage. Here are all the hot zones and prime feeding locations no matter where you'll be fishing this fall. First is riprap banks, using crawfish, shad, and shrimp that you've soaked in garlic around any shade lines that you can target. And of course, near any break lines, in-depth transition zones where shallow water meets deep. And of course, you always want to be fishing the wind-blown shorelines where bait fish and other nutrients get pushed. It's a much easier meal for catfish without having to expend a ton of extra energy to get it. And if you can find warmer, shallow flats when the sun is out in the afternoon and it warms the water, these are prime feeding zones before winter gets here. And one of the greatest fall fishing hacks we can give you is to troll crawfish crankbaits along riprap. You can bounce them off the rocks to mimic fleeing prey. Channels and flatheads especially will both crush them. And you can always be using 3 or 4 rods, especially if you're out with a buddy, at multiple depths with different baits on each, and just anchor above any break lines. Fish 1 rod up, 1 in the middle, and 1 on the bottom because blues, especially in fall, are wandering around and suspending more in the water column in search of food. And fall fishing demands having heavier gear that can handle big cats in changing conditions. We always use 50-pound braid and a larger spinning reel with at least 150 yards of capacity and a good solid drag system. And we use an 8 to 9 foot heavy catfish rod with a strong backbone to absorb the fight and a longer length to reach the deepest spots if you're fishing from the bank. And we also recommend heavy-duty rod holders with ground anchors because fall cats will hit like a train. And if you're fishing at night or in very dark stained waters, you can use fluorescent colored line for better visibility in those low light conditions, and it'll help you track bites better and see the line direction. And like we said earlier, you always want to be fishing right before a cold front passes through. Catfish will feed very aggressively right beforehand. And use your barometric pressure weather app that we talked about. Remember that rising pressure usually means a slower bite. Falling pressure typically stirs up a catfish feeding frenzy. So please like this video, share it with all your friends and fellow fishing enthusiasts, and hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you stay updated with all of our latest fishing tips, tricks, hacks, secrets, expert advice, gear reviews, and gear recommendations to up your fishing game and improve your skills and knowledge. So join our community of passionate anglers today, and you'll never miss out on all the valuable insights that we post daily. Tight lines, folks. We'll see you out on the cold fall water soon. Make sure your sharp hooks are ready to go, and go get the whiskered beast, baby, before winter. Okay, folks, thanks for watching. Please like this video, hit the subscribe button before you leave, and don't forget to enable your bell notifications so you never miss another great video coming your way.